R.I.P. to Charlie Kirk. I hope the best for his kids, his wife, his friends, everybody that knew him, and everybody whose lives he touched. Let's get into everything it is that we know currently, okay? So I'm going to start with all of the Twitter stuff, which, by the way, if you've been on Twitter, Jesus Christ, it is aggravating as all hell. All of these people talking about this as some sort of Jason Bourne professional hit. 10 months time already flies. Appreciate you, Mono. Hell yeah, brother. And all of these people talking about how, oh, you know, it's a rifle round somehow magically bounced off of soft armor and shit like that. I mean, just, oh my God. I don't even, just as somebody who even knows about guns, right? Like completely taking out my military service and training, just somebody who knows basic shit about guns. It's like how it's like you people you want everything to just be this massive crazy conspiracy, and you have such a distrust for any information that's put out there, verifiable information, that you're like, nope, it was a Mossad agent. I've literally seen people saying he was murdered by the Mossad. Like, why? Because he had controversial issues on Israel and Palestine. What about everybody else who's had controversial issues on freaking Israel and Palestine? You don't see them. You don't see Israel sending out their freaking hitters. Like, oh my goodness. Or people were saying that that Charlie actually isn't dead. It was just a blood pack. Blah blah. Like, how are these people allowed to vote? How are these people allowed to vote? I just don't understand. I don't get it. But so let's get into some of the stuff that developed in the last 48 hours or so. Lunchbox, from the victim to the heroes, they gave their lives trying to help people get to safety 24 years ago. Never forgotten. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know I say that even though I literally just said that I forgot yesterday was the day that it happened. But man, I never forget my brothers in blue. I've never forgotten my friends in their service, anything of that nature. And I even said it the other day that too many men and women came before me and gave the ultimate sacrifice because they believed that their life was not nearly as important as upholding the Constitution of the United States and allowing the freedoms for every American. And at times like this, I see everyone throwing conservative, leftist, leftoid, rightoid, all this shit. But at the end of the motherfucking day, I look at this and I think American. I don't think left. I don't think right. I don't think conservative. I don't think freaking liberal. I don't think any of that. I think first and foremost, I'm a goddamn American. My political views aside, I don't care if you're on the opposite aisle of me. If somebody has I made an agreement that I would fucking die for you. You know, same agreement Ken made, you know, and Ken actually fucking saw action. So it's crazy. So many people are so ready to just be divisive. BB Phil, I want Ken, Plex, Ozzy Cop on a panel one day. These guys would conquer together. Well, I have spoken with Ozzy Cop and you know, chopped it up with him, and he said that he's willing to come on and collab and everything. And we are planning to do the once a week lolcow BBU somewhat recap and remind and all that on the weekends. That is going to happen. It's just the simple fact that Ken is taking a vacation and he's going to be gone for 2 weeks. So, but we will be doing a LCU remind style. And if BBU ever ends up having something interesting to cover, we'll probably cover that too. Okay. So this is from Drama Alert. It says, police have evacuated the home of Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson, after receiving concerning information via Fox. So I believe this was like either a call-in or something of that nature.
We were preparing to go live and show you this all on air, but moments ago, police told us that we had to evacuate the area, that they got some type of concerning information basically directly in front of or around the family home. We're not certain what that concerning information is, but
now I know it's pretty low. It sounds like it's on a phone. Generally, the concerning information that and this is just going off of my own, you know, beliefs and understanding. A lot of the time, police are always going to be concerned when with people setting up booby traps or secondary explosives or tertiary or anything of that nature. I'm not saying that's what's happening here. What I am saying is that a lot of the time when people go out and do stuff like this, they're not expecting to make it out. Okay. So they set booby traps up or they set things to incendiate or something of that nature at their own home. It could also be the fact that people ended up finding out where this guy lived, you know, the general public, and they were making their way there to the house like that. Like, we can't deny that that might be an issue, you know, might be an issue, an angry mob of people, but who knows exactly what it is. As far as I've seen, they did gather a lot of evidence from the house. The parents and all that surrendered it without an issue, and obviously even if they tried, you know, the FBI is kicking the door down anyways. But it does, it is, it is you know, off-putting because it seems like they were able to search the house without any actual issue. So I can only imagine what it is for the reason why they evacuated that area of the home. What you're saying is Remind is coming back, LFG. Yes, Remind will be coming back, and it will be shared on both this channel and Ken Kaint.
But there was also a chopper above, and authorities told us that we had to clear the area. So that's why I'm on the phone right now. We're not able to show you this on camera. But the neighborhood where the family lived in is a nice, you know, middle class to upper class neighborhood. We were preparing to go live and show you this all on air, but preparing to go live.
Yeah. So as if you don't know, the guy did seem to come from a very normal two-parent conservative household. And I know a lot of people, the conspiracy theories on X were out of control. Yeah, they're not going to stop, Doza. They're not going to stop. We could literally just go down clicking. I could spend hours just clicking and seeing all the crazy BS that's going on and with my own personal experience and training and shit like that and disprove a lot of the shit that they're saying. But it's just, it's been so mind-boggling and aggravating. Oh my God, me and Ken have been going back and forth on this shit because we've been talking about this stuff and I'm like, dude, these imbeciles really think a fucking 308 sniper round is going to bounce off of soft armor. Okay? It would chew through that like freaking wet paper. Okay. Oh my God. There's so many things, so many crazy freaking misinformation. And the worst part about it is that there's people posting this stuff that actually believe it. Okay. And so here we have Tyler Robinson's officially been charged with aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, and obstruction of justice. What I want to say, and you know, if you agree with me, put a 1 in the chat. I think that anybody who in any way, shape, or form attempts to do political assassination, political coercion, political anything of that nature, if you are attempting to push a political agenda with violence or combat political views with violence, I honestly think that you should be labeled as a terrorist and have your fucking citizenship taken away. Because what else is the point? Why treat you like a human when you're actively fighting against all the things that make America America? Is America the best fucking country in the world? No, absolutely not. Of course not. It has its issues. But you're meeting freedom of speech with death. You are trying to silence people and their ability to speak openly and freely and condemning them to death because you do not see with them you don't see with them eye to eye politically. In my opinion, that's fucking terrorism. And I'm pretty sure, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just fucking do this. Define terrorism, right? The unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. I'm like, tell me that's not what this dude did. He used violence against a civilian in the pursuit of political discourse, in the act of political discourse. The guy's a fucking terrorist. Fuck him, his citizenship, and his rights. Okay? Now, Ken said throw him in Alcatraz, and I said no, fuck that. There's more than enough black sites all around America for him to be dropped into. And what I want is for when people turn around and they go, hey, whatever happened to freaking Tyler Robinson? I want the next generation to turn around and go, who? Didn't he like disappear or something? Like, fuck him. The guy's a terrorist. The same thing with Louis Mangione or fucking the dude who ended up trying to assassinate Trump, even though I don't politically agree with Trump on everything. I mean, the dude ended up getting sent to the gulag as it is anyways, but it's just crazy. It's crazy how these people and school shooters, mass shooters, how these people aren't being labeled as fucking domestic terrorists. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It was the Jews, just kidding, but I've noticed a lot of Jewish hatred going on recently. Yeah, a lot of anti-Semitism. Did he get killed in one of those US states where it was super easy to just buy guns from a supermarket? So Utah, I believe, is very conservative and does have very lax gun laws, but not like as far as open carry goes and stuff like that. But I don't know because I mean, I live in a liberal state. I can still go to a Bass Pro Shop and buy a gun. And then I can go downstairs and buy fishing equipment or get some food or something like that. So it's like, I'm sorry, gun control isn't the solution here. Should it be harder for people with freaking issues to get a gun? 100%. I agree with you. But if I take my gun out and I put it on the fucking desk right in front of me and I say, go gun, go kill, go hurt somebody, it's going to stay there until I move it. It's going to stay there until a force acts upon it. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. Guns are just the method. And a lot of the time, ideology is the way that they use it. And a lot of the time, it's political or religious. Bottom line. All right, so in the county of Utah, state of Utah, he's being charged with aggravated murder. He's being charged with felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, obstruction of justice / capital / first degree felony conduct. And Utah does have the death penalty. So they're most definitely going to be searching for it, or seeking it, I should say. I believe there is probable cause to charge the defendant with these charges because the following information was obtained by your affiant from police officers. Let's see if we can't make this a little bigger. The following video recordings posted on social media websites, Utah Valley University campus surveillance cameras, and those who witnessed the incidents on September 10th, 2025. Charles James Kirk was at UVU campus in Orem, Utah for a political event. Mr. Kirk is a conservative political activist who is scheduled to speak at an event in the courtyard area of the UVU campus. The courtyard is to the west of the Lucy Center building. According to video recordings, Charles was wearing a white t-shirt and dark pants, sitting under a white canopy in a courtyard of the campus facing to the east. The event was attended by hundreds of individuals. Charles was surrounded by people with multiple individuals to his left, right, and rear and front of the canopy. Behind the canopy was a walkway used for access to various parts of the university. Charles was holding a microphone and speaking to a crowd. While speaking into the microphone, a loud gunshot was heard at approximately 12:23 hours, and Charles appeared to have been hit in the neck. Blood was seen coming out of the left side of his neck as he fell over to his left. Charles was transported to the Timpanogos Regional Hospital in Orem. Charles was pronounced deceased at the hospitals. Investigators reviewed the UVU surveillance cameras. While reviewing the surveillance cameras, investigators observed an individual on the rooftop of the Lucy Center building on the UVU campus at the time of the shooting. Hereafter, the unidentified individuals will be referred to as suspect. Based on severe surveillance camera footage, suspect appears to be a white male with dark-colored hair, wearing a dark-colored hat, sunglasses, a long-sleeve black shirt with a picture of the American flag and an eagle printed on the shirt, dark-colored jeans, and white/gray shoes with white-colored shoelaces. The shoes appear to be consistent with Chuck Taylor/Converse style shoes. Suspect is also carrying a dark-colored backpack on his back. Suspect walks with a distinctive gait, Gait, gait. I guess maybe like a limp is what they're talking about. Prior to the shooting, suspect appears to be walking with a stiff right leg and a relatively slow pace. Suspect's ability to bend his right leg appears to be restricted. And this is because he jumped off of the rooftop and it looks like he ends up injuring himself. And we're going to see that in security footage. Investigators were able to track suspects' movements onto UVU campus starting at approximately 11:50 hours on 9/10/25. At approximately 11:50 hours, a UVU surveillance camera first captured suspect walking across the grassy area north of the campus drive at approximately 800 West. Suspect walked south through the parking lot and approached a pedestrian tunnel that runs underneath campus drive, and it looks like it continues. So no doubt they're going after, the death penalty, and they should. There's no reason why they shouldn't. There's no reason why this person should even be seen as American. So I don't give a shit. Fox News Listen Dispatch audio reveals the frantic moments after an assassin fatally shot Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. And so this is information that they were given right after the shooting.
Is going to be wearing all black long gun, black tactical helmet, a black mask, possibly wearing a tactical vest and jeans. Is going to be wearing.
And that pretty much sums up the same thing that was just in the report. Black, got dark jeans.
Black long gun, black tactical helmet, a black mask, possibly wearing a tactical vest and.
Now, the only thing that wasn't reported was the black tactical mask. I didn't see anything about that, but maybe they talk about it in the press conference that we're going to watch. But this is just insane, you guys. There's no reason for stuff like this to be happening. I mean, think about us, right? Let's completely take it down all the way to something very, very small, right? We criticize other people here. We've criticized LCU, the hosts there, BBU. We've criticized people like iDubbbz, all these different things for having different views, different ideas, different methods of entertainment, stuff of that nature. And at no fucking point have I ever been like, oh, we need to bring this down. We need to take this out. We need to blah, 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 blah. You should be able to have political discourse and conversation. And if you're the type of person or your politics and ideology says that it's okay for you to fucking go to the extreme or even just go to violence simply because you're not getting your way, you're not winning an argument, or because you're angry at the political discourse that you're incurring on, there's an issue with you. You are a problem. Now, it's no fun to be arguing with someone back and forth and shit can get heated. I totally understand that. But if you're going to fucking kill somebody because you're mad at what they say or their words hurt your fifis, there's a fucking issue with you. And if your ideology or your religion or whatever the fuck it is tells you it's okay to kill somebody just because they have a different view than you, that shit's fucked. Your religion, if that's what it is fucked. Your political ideology and political aisle, fucked. Your friends who encourage it, also fucked. Like everything about you is just completely and utterly fucked. There is no redemption for people like you. All right, so this is going to be one of the things that we're going to be seeing in the press conference. Just it's a little bigger here.
Right, moves to this far right corner.
Whoops.
As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions.
So right here, you can even see, let me just get it even bigger for you guys. You can even see this little stick coming out right here, which is gonna, which is gonna be the rifle. Even right here, you can see his arm is here, his other arm is here, and you have this long stick-like thing, which is going to either be the nose, the neck of the gun, or it's going to be the butt of the gun. He's climbing off. How did he even get there in the first place, man? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would he jump off the fucking roof? Why wouldn't he just use the same method that he used to get on the roof? And how did he get on the roof in the first fucking place? Was it a ladder? Was it an open window? Like, this is the other reason why I'm saying there's no way this is a professional hit, okay? A professional isn't going to jump off a building, risk breaking, hurting themselves. He obviously didn't get up there by scaling that wall right there. Like, it just aggravates me.
That he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places. Where
Looks like he has a rifle bag right here, because he's pulling it down, and that looks exactly like a bag or a rifle bag. It's not nearly as long as I've seen rifle bags be, especially for any sort of long rifle or sniper rifle. But again, this is incredibly far away. And as we know, distance makes things look a lot smaller. At least that's what I tell my girls. No, I'm just joking. Georgie, trans people be crazy. Listen, I love the Rainbow Mafia people, but yeah, sometimes they be putting people in positions of talking that just don't need to be there.
There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's
Bam.
a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect.
That boy fucked his ankle up. Whew. Good.
There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse.
Oh, hold on. Go back.
We believe the suspect is.
Yeah, you can definitely see it's like a rifle bag or something. I know they said backpack, but that's way too long to be a backpack.
I believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another view of that.
Wait, that looks...
Important to note his black t-shirt.
Looks a little too thin. Hold on. Let's see.
Another view of that.
Oh, that's his shadow. I'm retarded.
Important to note his black t-shirt, his black...
There it is.
He's going to come out on the right. Move
to
this far right corner.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh. That was a little jump scare for you guys. Okay, so this is the guy who was actually there talking to Charlie. This is the guy who asked Charlie his very last question. And he made a video about it. And I can only imagine, right? Because think about this. You're talking to a guy, you're having a debate, you're having a discussion, you're having a conversation, and above all things, right? You're having a fucking conversation about gun violence and shit and craziness and political discourse, and the dude in front of you that you're staring at just gets shot in the goddamn neck. Like, there's been so many people who've watched this video, and this, I think, is one of the because not even the fucking like Luigi Mangione, whatever the fuck his name is, video was as, I don't want to say graphic, but as in your face as this video was, because it immediately circulated. It was everywhere. There was no getting away from it. You're literally watching a person die. In the Luigi Mangione video, it's grainy. It's not the best. You know what happens, but it's not in your face. You can literally watch as his lifeless body tumbles over with Charlie Kirk. And it has affected Americans. It has affected people to such a goddamn degree. You have people crying who've never met the guy. You have people upset over it. And it's not necessarily, at least for me, the anger and sadness isn't necessarily for Charlie, because obviously I'm sad and I'm upset that this dude is dead. I've never watched anything of his. I've never watched it. I've never listened to him or anything. But I am beyond pissed that our American values are being attacked in such a goddamn way. That our American, what we stand for, our principles, our morals, is having a war waged upon it. And that there's actually people celebrating this. And like I said in the video I posted, if you're celebrating this, just wait. Because if it happens to your side, you don't have the right to cry. You don't have the right to be upset. You, by celebrating Charlie's death, the opposition dying, you are saying that it is okay to do the same to you. I'm not saying a call for action, but violence begets violence. Sometimes violence is necessary. But if you're going to champion the death of somebody simply because of them having different views, what you're saying, in my opinion, is that you are okay with somebody killing you for having different views than you. I'm sorry, 1 + 1 = 2. All right, let's get to this.
I don't know how to make this video. It's been a rough 24 hours. This last person to talk to Charlie Kirk, here's maybe a better vantage point of me. So I'll give you some background. I made a video maybe about a week or two ago, I think. I'll play clips so it's clear about what's going on. Oh my God. So Charlie Kirk just said that the suspected Minneapolis school shooter was trans. First Nashville, now this. How many times makes a trend? Probably the only way to do this is to have an ungodly amount of time to parse through all of the 6,000 mass shootings that have ever happened in the history of America. I mean, Charlie's counting on the fact that only a psycho would do all that. Trans people are surprisingly and extremely nonviolent. Now, while I was scrolling Charlie Kirk's video, I noticed that he was touring America, and he was touring universities specifically. And one of these caught my eye because one of these is the university I'm currently going to. Obviously, that university was UVU, where I currently go to school, and I'm getting a degree in.
So, and here's the craziest thing about this. As we watch this video, this is a guy who very obviously disagrees with Charlie, probably has had some ill words about the guy, who has made videos on him or TikToks, whatever it is. And yet he still, even the dude who is talking to him and is upset about this, still isn't advocating for this man's death. Like it isn't a left or a right issue. It is a fucking crazy person issue. It is mental health. It is delusion. Yes, we can turn around and say that leftists and the Rainbow Mafia and all of them have been pushing for more and more violent rhetoric. The right has been pushing for rhetoric as well, violent at times. But it's not left or right. You've had Republicans kill Republicans. You've had leftists kill leftists. You've had centralists kill both sides. You've had people who aren't even politically affiliated killing people who are. Like, it's aggravating, man. Like, you just get at a loss for words. It's not, it is, every freaking thing should be bipartisan issue, man. I fucking crazy. Bro's point was disproved in front of his face, lol, sadly. I don't think the guy who shot him was trans, though. I'm pretty sure he wasn't. I'm pretty sure he was born a male.
2 ago, I think. I'll play clips. So
let me replay it.
What's going on? Oh my God. So Charlie Kirk just said that the suspected Minneapolis school shooter was trans. First Nashville, now this. How many times makes a trend? Probably the only way to do this is to have an ungodly amount of time to parse through all of the 6,000 mass shootings that have ever happened in the history of America. I mean, Charlie's counting on the fact that only a psycho would do all that. Trans people are surprisingly and extremely nonviolent. Now, while I was scrolling Charlie Kirk's video, I noticed that he was touring America, and he was touring.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a trans person, Georgie. Dude looks very, very male born and white. He did not like that. Definitely crazy, delusional, psycho person who needs to just be put in a hole and forgotten about. Absolutely, 100%. But I'm pretty sure homeboy was a boy.
Foreign universities specifically. And one of these caught my eye because one of these is the university I'm currently going to. Obviously, that university was UVU, where I currently go to school, and I'm getting a degree in mathematics in. I'm not going to show a video of what happened, mostly because I can barely watch it. But yeah, here's what I asked. I asked, do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years? Too many. I said the number's 5, counting or non-counting gang violence. Pop is heard. Shout out to CNN for fact-checking me and saying I'm right. First off, you sick fucking psychos that think this is the answer.
Thank you. Thank you. Like the dude who's literally debating this guy and is in disagreement about his own, about Charlie's rhetoric and belief about freaking trans people being, making a trend that being trans. Man, my voice went hoarse for a second. That being trans, was a leading cause for these mass shootings and stuff. He's even saying that you're fucking psychotic for thinking that this is the way to go about it. Jesus Christ, man.
Stuff.
And this is somebody who's in support of, obviously, LGBTQ and all of that stuff. And I'm going to be honest here. I support your right to be happy. Whatever that entails, so long as it does not cause harm to anybody else. Bottom line.
You sick fucking psychos that think this is the answer. It's not. I don't know what else to say. It's fucking not. It's awful. And a father doesn't have his kids anymore. Charlie had 2 kids and a wife. And like, not to make this about me, but I have 2 kids and a wife.
Georgie, yeah, I saw that too, that the ammunition had pro-trans messages on it. I mean, you can obviously be an ally without being trans yourself, right? You can obviously be okay with that type of stuff or say that they have the right to exist, et cetera, right? Without actually engaging in it yourself or being a part of it. So you can definitely say he was pro-trans, but I don't think that he was actually inherently trans. Otherwise, I mean, dude's fucking incredibly passable. Now let's pass him into a dark hole at the corner of the, earth. But regardless, he was definitely pro-trans.
And if my 1-year-old boy, like his 1-year-old boy, will grow up without memories of his dad, it's a tragedy, and it's hard to grapple with. And I'm part of a community that's struggling to grapple with it right now. And people have obviously pointed to the irony that the point that I was trying to make is how peaceful the left was.
Yeah.
Right before he got shot.
Now, you can definitely go after him for this one, George. The fact that he was trying to turn around and say that, that the left is incredibly peaceful and all that. And then he ends up getting shot by somebody who at this very moment in time, the biggest belief is that, he was a leftist, that he was, a left-wing person. And apparently through college was radicalized into extreme left beliefs. Now, do we know that for a fact? No. Is it a more than likely situation? Yeah, 100%. Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for somebody who believes the same things as Charlie to kill him, unless for 2 reasons, right? One, he thinks that he isn't radical enough, which is something that happens. He thinks he isn't radical enough, or he thinks that he's leading the movement in the wrong direction. Both, you're still a psychotic, delusional freak.
And that only makes sense if we stay peaceful. And as much as I disagree with Charlie Kirk, I'm on the record for how much I disagree with Charlie Kirk. But like, man, dude, he is still a human being. Have we forgotten that? Are we crazy? Like, I stand by so little of everything that he said. But one of the things that he stood by was conversation.
Yep.
And
And this isn't like conversation with freaking, what do you call it? Like Steven Crowder, who a lot of the time, bro, was out there just wanting to argue. It was definitely open conversation rather than him turning around and wanting to basically get that viral clip or something of that nature. At least because I've watched Steven Crowder, his prove me wrong thing way more than I watched any of Charlie Kirk. And there was more than enough times where I'm watching that and I'm just like, bro, you're really kind of just here to find that viral clip. But going through and watching a lot of the stuff with Charlie Kirk, I'm just sitting there like, this dude really was wanting to just have a conversation with people and was incredibly respectful as well for the most part. Does he have moments where he breaks and he gets angry and stuff like that? And does he say things that can be misinterpreted or things that are harmful or hurtful or something of that nature? Sure, absolutely. You're never going to find a political activist or a politician that isn't. But none of that justifies his death. Hey, what's going on, Richie Dubs?
also, just if you ever feel like you want to comment with your little conspiracy theory on what happened on the event, you are not helping anything, actually. I've been talking to the police. We're good. Thank you. And if you're salivating about what happened, don't.
Yep.
I don't know if any of my audience is, but if you are, you're not part of what I'm trying to build here at all.
And see, that's what we need. We need people like him, regardless of what your political leaning is. We need people like him who are willing to self-police their own area and call out those bad apples, call out the people who are saying that it's okay, call out the people that's saying that this type of rhetoric, this type of action, this type of violence, and look at it and say, no, you are not a part of the movement. You are not a part of what is going to get us to where we want to be. You are not a part of building something here. You are trying to tear it down. That's what we need on both sides, okay? Because there's people left and people right who want nothing more than for us to just be arguing and bickering and fighting the entire time. So here's JD Vance taking Charlie Kirk home on Air Force Two. And in case you don't know, being transported on Air Force Two is an incredibly high honor. Like, a lot of our military service, obviously, we get transpoed on whether it's commercial or military vessels, or not vessels, because that refers to like submarines and shit, but military or commercial planes or cargo ships or cargo ships, fucking Christ, cargo planes and stuff of that nature. So this is an incredible honor, an incredible way to honor this man and what he's done. Yeah. Because if I'm not wrong, him and Trump were friends. And there's his wife and family. I hope that the man can rest peacefully now, because that's just, it's absolutely insane that, God, and his family was there at the event. Like, his family was there. At least his wife was, from what I've heard. Imagine the person you love, the person you've built a family with, a home with, have children with, and you watch them die in front of your fucking eyes at a place that, like, in their own zone, in their area. This is what this guy did. He went to college campuses and talked with people. Like, it is insane that the person you go to assassinate. The guy you go to kill is the guy saying, hey, let's talk about it. Because to me, that means you don't want to talk. You just want these hands. That's what it means. That's what it means to me is you're not up for political discourse. You're not up for adult conversation, for freaking finding a solution. All you want is to go to war. All you want is to see whose guns are bigger and overthrow an ideology or political beliefs that you disagree with. It's fucking disgusting. I feel bad for his family and for his kids, and I'm just perplexed. Like, there's so much anger. And I don't even like this guy. I don't like Ben Shapiro. I don't like this motherfucker. But he spits facts here. And I can agree with him on what he's saying. So Brent Shapiro says that he's still going to be going on to college campuses across the country and continue to talk and do debates and all that. And unfortunately, at this point in time, I think that people are going to end up having to have like a full 360 armed detail and having to put people up on roofs and shit like that, which is crazy. You should not have to have a fucking Overwatch going to a damn political debate or a political conversation. If you don't understand how freaking dystopian that is, the necessity for that, you have to have practically 360 armed coverage just to talk about ideas at this point. It's dangerous to have an idea. Anybody ever see V for Vendetta? That's a dystopian fucking future where you're not allowed to think outside of what you're told. And if you are, or if you do, or if you try in any way, shape, or form, challenge what the government was saying, you've disappeared. But the people, the American people, are the ones doing the disappearing. They're the ones getting rid of freedom of speech. They are the ones trying to silence open and positive conversation, or just even open conversation. Again, you need not fear the government for stepping on free speech, because the people are doing it themselves. Now, I want to go over this real quick. It's a former Marine sniper. He talks about it, and I've seen this already. I agree with everything this dude says. In no way, shape, or form is 200 yards hard to hit. Like, you could literally train somebody within a day or so to hit a standing target at 200 yards. For instance, okay, for me, when I was in the Corps and I was in basic, we had to, this country is based on free speech. It's insane that the mentally ill NPCs of this world world will kill because they don't agree with someone. Facts. Absolutely. 100%, Georgie. I agree with you. It's absolutely insane. And people want to turn around and have us go to fearing, saying what's on our mind and speaking our mind. And that just doesn't happen. It's like, I don't know if you know Americans very well. We're not very good at shutting up. We're not very good at backing down. But back to this. When I was in basic, in order to qualify, okay, this is just basic qualifications to become a Marine, okay? I had to take my M4 and we qualled at 100, 300, and 500 yards, okay? The Charlie was shot at approximately 200 yards. I hit a bullseye from 500 yards away with pink eye in both my eyes. That is how easy that 200-yard shot is, okay? It's not a lot. And if you don't know anything about guns, or you don't know anything about distance or shooting or anything like that, you might hear 200 yards and think, damn, you must have to be the most elite of the elite. No. You want to talk about elite? 1,500 yards. Now you're getting up in the area of a professional, 2,000 yards, stuff like that. That's when you're starting to get into the freaking Jason Bourne enhanced freaking, you know, human and shit like that. Okay. 200 yards. I mean, there's fucking firing ranges that are 200 yards.
Situation. Do you believe that this individual was a professional shooter, considering your background?
I do not believe.
Why the old man act crazy after the attack? Why did the old man? I have no idea, BB Phil. That's a good question. I have no idea why that guy was just yelling to shoot him or any of that. I think that there's a lot that's going to come out in due time as to why he was acting that way, as to why other people were acting other ways. And we have right now a massive conspiracy going on about there's being a couple of different people in or surrounding Charlie Kirk giving out hand signals and shit like that. I'm more than certain that a lot of this is going to be put to bed, and a lot of these people who are persons of interest as far as the internet is concerned are eventually going to have some sort of answer to for the bigger public, especially considering these people, their lives are probably in danger. I mean, you're literally millions of people have seen videos of them being like, oh, they're telling the sniper to shoot with this hand signal. Like, fucking Christ. I just talked to Ozzy, who is live too, by the way. He's looking forward to working with you. I asked him, appreciate you, baby Phil.
Believe it was a professionally trained shot because at no point.
Okay. What do you think about this Charlie Kirk situation? Do you believe that this individual was a professional shooter, considering your background?
I do not believe it was a professionally trained shot because at no point in my sniper training was I taught to aim for the neck. And
yes, when you shoot somebody, when you are trained, regardless if it's with a pistol, a rifle, or a sniper rifle, anything of that nature, you are taught aim, center, mass. So that way, it accounts for deviation, it accounts for drag, for wind, it accounts for the person moving, anything of that nature. Like, it's fun and all that to get headshots in game. Totally understandable, totally get it. It's like most of the time, though, one to the heart is generally where you're aiming, because your body, your chest has so much more to hit. If you turn, if you walk back, if you move slightly, something of that nature, you're still hitting the torso, you're still hitting the chest or something. If you aim for the head, if you move back, depending on where you're aiming or from what direction, that bullet might just completely miss you. I mean, look at what happened with Trump. He leaned his head forward to read a teleprompter and the bullet missed his head. That's how quickly shit can happen. And that dude was even, I'm pretty sure the dude who shot at Trump was even closer than the dude who shot at Charlie. Like, this is why I'm saying with people, man, with Twitter is not a healthy place to be right now. Okay, guys, Twitter is not a healthy place to be right now with all of these psycho freaking conspiracies.
a lot of people keep saying, oh, but it's because there was an angle. Angle only necessarily matters, at least from my training, at 30 degrees plus. From 200 yards on a second, third story building, let's call it a third story building, that's still like a, I don't know, 5-10 degree angle. I don't think it would impact. At 300 yards in the Marine Corps, I can literally say, do I want to hit the left nostril or the right nostril, right? At that.
Okay, so BB Phil, neck sounds like a bullet drop issue. And see, that's what, funny enough, that's even what me and Ken were talking about. We were even discussing that, but you have to calculate the distance as well, BB Phil. 200 yards, depending on the rifle, how much power is behind it, the caliber and all that. And as far as, and from what we've learned, it's been a 308. At maybe 500 yards or so, you're looking at a significant bullet drop, significant drag to drop. And by significant, I'm talking within the span of like 1 to 3 inches, which you might think isn't significant, but when it comes to landing a target, 1 to 3 inches could either mean the person's immediately gone or person has the ability to return fire and end you. Okay, that is very significant. But 200 yards, it sounds like somebody who knows who's been doing hunting. Maybe he moved. We don't know what happened. Maybe he moved his arm. Maybe he didn't breathe out properly or something of that nature, which added an extra force to the left, to the down or to the left, something of that nature. Don't know. But with a 308 from 200 yards away, I just don't see it being a significant amount of drop or drag to take you from a headshot down, unless the dude was aiming for his jaw or his cheek or something. Because from here to here, that's within 5 inches or so, which it's just, I don't know. I think what really was happening is he was probably aiming up here towards where the heart would be. And when he pulled back on it, it probably traveled up. That's what I'm going to think it is. That's because he was hit like almost directly in the middle of the neck here, which either is going to happen from aiming at the head and it falling down, or for aiming here towards the chest and it going up. It's just, we're going to have to wait and see. And we don't even know the condition of the gun. The gun could be screwed up. The sights could have been off. There's so many different things. And we may never know what the condition of the gun was, considering he dropped it he dropped it apparently, or tossed it or something. And from the pictures, it looks like it ended up getting a little messed up. Trump is Neo from the Matrix, Georgie. Interesting. Thank you for military insight. It's one of those things where the further, this is the way you got to look at it and understand it. When it comes to a bullet, the longer a bullet travels, the more it's going to deviate. So if you have wind coming in from the right, the longer a bullet travels, the more it's going to deviate to the left. Or wind from the left, it will go to the right. It's things of that nature. Okay. You very rarely will see up and down in case something actually happens while you're shooting, right? So they tell you to breathe in and then you breathe out. And obviously what ends up happening when you breathe in, your shoulders go up, right? Because you're expanding your chest, but then you breathe out in order to come back to center when you're shooting. So he could have breathed in and held it, which would have aimed his shot up more. Because if I'm holding, breathe in, my shot has now gone up a couple of inches, maybe 1 to 2 inches. So it's the most minimal of things when firing that can change exactly where it is. And like I've said, 1 to 3 inches is incredibly significant when trying to land your shot.
Short of a distance, let's call it 200 yards, it would only make about 1.5 inches high at about 200 yards. And that's if it was zeroed at 100 yards, right? If it was zeroed at 200, if they were trained professionally, they would have zeroed their rifle or at least gotten the data. I don't personally think they were professionally trained because of the first thing I said before I even analyzed angle or any of that was shot placement. This is not, it's viable in the sense of mortality, right? Or fatality. But it's not a viable shot in terms of immediate incapacitation, which is, I'm sure, is what they were trying to.
And this is the thing too. And me and Ken were even talking about this because we were looking at the video. The instant that we saw the video, me and Ken both were able to tell, and we could be wrong. Coroner's report could 100% prove me wrong here, but 99%. His carotid artery was hit with that bullet. And with the 308, that's incredible. That's 100% possible. Okay. For the neck is small. The carotid artery runs right down here. But the simple fact is, if you cut your arm right now, please don't fucking do it. It will dribble, right? It will drain out. It'll drain. But if you hit an artery, the artery has pressure. That is what carries your blood and the the blood, oxygen, all that stuff. Because it's under pressure, when it's severed, it squirts out just like anything else, right? Go take an air freshener, push on the button for the air freshener. What happens? It shoots out because it's under pressure. So the moment I saw him get hit in the neck, I was like, that's an artery shot. And with an artery shot, with your artery being punctured, you're looking at 5-10 minutes max of being able to cinch down on that artery and hold it close before you bleed out. And it's not viable. It doesn't make it's Aiming for the neck is something that somebody who's untrained would do because they believe that it's an insta shot, right? It's like it's an insta kill or something of that nature, or that it's easy to hit. It's not something that most people who are trained to shoot will do, because you know just how difficult and how easy it would be to miss for them moving side to side or front to back.
Accomplish.
But what you're saying is, if it was a professional sniper, given the distance, given the conditions, it's not gonna. The shot's not gonna pull from
no,
the
definitely not.
incapacitation zone.
That's too far. This is too far. There's a video of the shooter in broad daylight on a rooftop. Whenever you set up a sniper position, a sniper hide, what's the most obvious spot that you're sniper? If you have no training,
You're silhouetting on
first
top
thing
of a
you're going
roof.
to do is look for a rooftop, right? There was a spot under that was shaded. At the very least, be in the shade to have less of a profile. So if they're professional.
So the reason why he's saying to be under the shade is, first and foremost, right, the guy was seen to have had all black on, or at least dark clothing on. If you're in the shade, it conceals you even more, because it's basically it's going to be black on black, dark on dark, right, to go ahead and conceal you. Not only that, but if you're going to be if you set up on a perch, you never know how long you're going to be there until you have that shot, until you have that perfect shot. You don't want to be baking under the goddamn sun the entire time. And it's Utah. Okay. And a lot of these roofs are like, stone, or they're membrane roofs, which reflect light back up to you and hold heat even more. You never know how long you might be there before that shot ends up becoming viable for you. And on top of it too, if you have light coming down from a certain direction, you're also going to have light reflecting off of your scope. Whereas if you're in the shade, there's no light that's going to most likely hit your scope, which is another thing, right? It's called sniper shine. At least that's what I've learned it as, sniper shine, which will give you that little twinkle, which will have people look. It's all about being low profile, which is another reason why I say, and most people who know are saying, this isn't professional. This is just some freaking Wong Tong dumbass, and I'm not saying Wong Tong is in like racial or anything. I'm just saying dude's freaking out of his blitzed mind, man. How much training does a man need to reliably hit a target from that range? Sounds like not much if the guns are so good. No. You listen, I'm telling you right now, I've never trained on a long rifle, on a sniper rifle, right? Okay. I've shot pistols, I've shot M4 rifles, and I've also shot belt-fed assault rifles, like actual belt-fed assault rifles. We're talking 100 rounds in like a minute and a half, okay? Where you're holding on and the Rambo movie, like that. I have shot those. But if we're talking about a rifle and a stationary target, you could easily be trained in probably 5 hours to make a hit like that from 200 yards. And of course, it depends all on how much you're willing to learn. If you've shot guns before, it can be a little bit more difficult for you to relearn the correct way. And when I say correct way, is because in the Marine Corps, they tell you, if you've ever shot a gun before, congratulations, now you're going to learn the Marine Corps way to shoot. But anyways, realistically, BB Phil, a day's worth of training, you could hit that shot. A day's worth of training. And you're Gucci to go. Like, it's not that difficult. The same way as you could teach somebody how to use a pistol within 25 feet in a day. It's all about first and foremost, your willingness to learn. Secondly, your dedication to it, because it can be a bitch. Trust me. It can freaking handling and training with a rifle can hurt your shoulders, your arms. I mean, it just can be a bitch. And thirdly is going to be how interested you are in it. Because if you're not interested, like, you're not going to you're not going to put your best effort forward. People are claiming this guy to be a caught trick shotter in IRL. Yes, Georgie, that's what I'm saying. These people are acting like he scaled the roof with a freaking grappling hook and lowered himself down and took aim and was like artery located with freaking x-ray vision or something. No, this was just some freaking bumpkin who got a rifle and was taught to shoot, most likely by his sheriff dad, and went out and did it. This another thing I want to say. I know I'm fucking rambling here, but if it was a professional, I'm sorry. The chances of a professional hitman doing it in broad fucking daylight with cameras everywhere and thousands or hundreds of freaking witnesses is just so incredibly stupid. It makes no sense. Literally makes no sense. Why a professional is not going to put themselves in the most likely chance of being caught. This dude was caught in 48 hours or 33 hours, according to the FBI. If he was a professional, he wouldn't even be in the goddamn country anymore. I'm like, okay, back to the video.
Trained,
they would understand their exposure.
Yeah, their exposure. Yeah. They would have taken a window, shaded it, taken the shot from there, still had an escape route from there. And I also heard that a rifle has been recovered. In the Marine Corps, you call that target indicator, anything a sniper does or fails to do, which reveals yourself, position, or equipment to the enemy.
So what he's saying here is basically, first and foremost, any trained professional is not going to leave behind their gun or their ammunition. They're going to police their brass, as we call it. And police your brass basically means you're going to pick up anything that is identifiable to a person having been anywhere. They're going to turn around and make it as if you were never there, right? That's what we're trained for. In the Marine Corps, you're not even allowed to freaking let your rifle hit the ground until you're going to sleep. Because yes, you're forced to sleep with your rifle in the Marine Corps, okay? At least if you're out in the field. If you're in the field, if you're out in the field or something like that, you're sleeping with your fucking rifle, and don't let somebody catch you not with your rifle, okay? Because it's an ass kicking. But what he's saying is that a professional wouldn't dump his gun. He would take it with him so that there was no trace behind him. He would take the shell casing with him, and he wouldn't be writing anything on the freaking bullets or the shell casings as an identifier. It's just none of this would happen. So it's easy, even with his non-military sheriff dad can teach him. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Listen, okay, this is going to sound cold, but just listen to me very quickly. If the whole Charlie situation, if you replaced Kirk with a deer and took that video and put it all over the internet, people would look at that and go, so? Like, that's not impressive. Like, you should be able to do that. But because it's a person, a political activist, because it's somebody who has ties to the government and conversations with Trump and all of this different stuff, people are coming up with all of these insane conspiracies. You could hit like 200 yards is basic training for any person. If you told me that you were going to be taking like your kids out to teach them how to hunt, you're probably going to start at 100 and max them out at 2, depending on like their level of being able to actually catch on how to use a gun. Any layman can take 200 yards on a stationary target. It's not difficult. Not at all. All right. So let's get to the FBI briefing here. From zero to hero, we